Hello everybody, my name is Death Reaper and welcome to Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die Edition. So, Dark Souls is a game that came out back in, I believe, 2011, originally on consoles like 360 and PS3. Happens to be one of my favorite games, played it a ton, beaten it maybe about 9 times or so. And I figured I wanted to replay it again, just because a lot of my friends don't actually play the Souls games. I think only about 3 of my friends have actually played them. One's played Demon and Dark Souls, another one's only played Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and then my last friend has only played Dark Souls 2. But I've been trying to convince them all to play them all, but, you know, there's a bad stigma behind Dark Souls, and a lot of people don't really like it because, you know, people think it's really, really hard, which I don't necessarily agree with, but don't quote me on that because I'm not perfect at this. So, but yeah, let's get rolling. Okay, so here's character creation. You get to choose a lot of different stuff: sex, class, gift, what your character's physique is going to be like, face, hair, and color. There's a lot of... Okay, so recently I've noticed there's, with a lot more modern RPGs, there's kind of a stigma or a joke going around where it takes you hours upon hours upon hours and days to like complete your character because he has to be perfect and all that. I'm not that kind of person. I don't really care too much because when I look at it, the way I see it, it's going to be my character he's going to be covered by armor and helmets and stuff, and there's not too much dialogue specifically, and my character doesn't say anything throughout the entire game. So for a game like, say, I don't know, Dragon Age or Mass Effect or any game where there's like a lot of dialogue where your character's talking and all that kind of stuff, then sure, like that may be a little bit important. But for a game where you won't see your character too much, it's not a big deal. So for this, what are we going to name him? Well, since I am Death Reaper, let's just go ahead and name him Reaper. Yeah, it works for me. And we're going to go male. So, these are the starting classes. Technically in Dark Souls, you can do whatever you want. It just, these classes really kind of determine what you're going to start out being. So, there's loads of different builds and different ways to make a character. Like for the warrior, the knight, and the bandit, those are very much like strength characters or mixed characters, which are known as what are quality builds. Quality build is basically like a strength. One focuses highly in strength or highly in dex, and then also focuses on the other one of those, either strength or dex, depending on like what weapons and stuff you're going to use. You've then also got the Wanderer, Thief, and Hunter. They are your dex characters. So the Wanderer, Thief, and Hunter is kind of your ranged guy. Then you've got the magic classes, which are the Sorcerer, Pyromancer, and Cleric. Sorcerer uses sorceries, which are based off intelligence. Pyromancer, which it uses fire, but the thing about it, and this is something that the community kind of considers to be the starter noob class in a lot of cases, because it starts out with a lot of really strong abilities to begin with, and Pyromancy actually doesn't have a stat that it's based off of. It does get faster cast speed from intelligence, and I don't know if it does for faith or not, but putting points in intelligence makes it cast a little bit faster, but it's not that big a deal. It's still powerful regardless. Similarly, the cleric, they cast, not sorceries, they cast miracles, and those are based off of faith. Typically they're used for healing or buffing. They do get some attacks. Typically it's the lightning spears, which are iconic to the series. And then you've got the deprived, which, yeah, description says, unclothed enigma, only armed with club and old plank shield, basically a piece of wood and a piece of wood. So, they actually start out probably the most versatile of them all. They start out at the highest soul level, but they have the most stats in all these different areas, but they have the hardest starting to go through. For me, I usually go for a quality build, guy with either medium or heavy armor with a great shield and a great sword, so I usually go with warrior, so I'm going to stick with that. Next we get to choose our starting gift. There's a bunch of these here. You've got the Goddess's Blessing, which is basically a full heal item. It's consumed, and you can get more of them in the game, so it's not super great. Black Firebomb is very similar to that, but there's a reason why you would choose the Black Firebomb if you're going to go for... there's an item that you can get very early on in the game. Actually, on the first boss of the game. If you're able to kill the first boss the first time you see him, and we'll basically be fighting him 2 times because I'm not gonna go for this. If you're able to beat him the first time, it'll actually give you his hammer, and his hammer is actually very powerful, but it's a 50 strength hammer, so it's just specific for a strength build, which I'm not going to go for, so it's not very useful to me. Twin Humanities. Humanity is a stat, well, it's a currency, more rather, that you use to kindle bonfires, you can use it to heal, and a bunch of other things. Twin Humanities gives you 2 humanity instead of just 1. But again, you get these in the game. There's a bunch of them, so not super useful. Binoculars you can get literally right after beating the tutorial, so there's no reason to get it here. The pendant. FromSoft is kind of trolled when it comes to some items in the game, and it's also the same with a couple of other games. The pendant does nothing, literally nothing, so there's no reason to get it. What we're going to get is we're going to go for the Master Key. The Master Key allows you to unlock things that you don't normally, well, you wouldn't normally be able to open immediately. Everything can be unlocked, but this thing allows you to open areas earlier on, and we're actually going to use it to go get some items earlier than we're supposed to, so that way we can start a little bit more powerful. Tiny Beings Ring. This item is famously, I don't know if it's a typo or if it's a glitch or what. The description for this item is that it heals, HP recovers slowly while equipped. That's not what it does. It actually just increases your health. Old Witch's Ring. This allows you to talk to an NPC later on in the game. We won't use it because I don't necessarily care to talk to them, but they do have some very interesting dialogue and some lore-related stuff, but it's not huge, so we're going to go with the Master Key. And as it says, it's the initial equipment for the Thief. If you select the Thief, you get the Master Key already, but you can then select a different gift if you want to get 2 of them. But the starting stats for the Thief are not what I want. Let's see. Now we get to the cosmetic stuff. This stuff I don't really care too much about. Yeah, I usually go for Far East Traveler, hair, ponytail, and it's gonna stay black. Okay, so that's our guy. Yes, let's do it. Okay, and we're going to watch the cutscenes, because I haven't seen them in a long time, because I may have beaten this game a bunch of times. I haven't watched the cutscenes in so long, because I usually just go in and play and skip through the cutscenes, so I'll try to keep quiet as best I can during these.
Of grey crags, arch trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, and of course, light and dark.
Oh, light and dark.
Then from the dark they came and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead. The Witch of Asylum and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, and his faithful knights.
I always love their armor. They look super cool.
And the furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten.
This is one of the characters you don't see in the game. Everyone else you see. Well, I suppose not the final Chaos Witch. Well, technically you do.
Challenge the dragons. Gwyn's mighty gods peeled apart their stone skins. The witches weaved great firestorms. Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. Seath, the Scaleless, betrayed his own, and the dragons were no more.
Yep, so a Scaleless dragon ends up betraying his Scale brothers because he's dead. He's sitting on a mountain of their corpses.
Thus began the Age of Fire.
This is such a cool looking city. I wish you could actually see it from this kind of angle in the game, because it looks super awesome.
And only dark will remain. Even now, there are only embers. And man sees not light, but only endless nights.
Yep, so the Age of Fire is kind of dying.
Amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark sign. Yes, indeed. The dark sign brands the undead. And in this land, the undead are corralled and led to the north. Where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is your fate.
Ooh, that's a dead body. Hey, guy. Okay, bye. Thank you for the dead body, I guess. Alright, so now we have control. And welcome to the Northern Undead Asylum. So, basics behind this game. I'm actually playing it with an Xbox 360 controller. So, basic controls for this are left stick to move, right stick to control the camera. You can click in the right stick to target. I don't think... No. Left stick pushing it in doesn't do anything. You've then got your basic attack options, which are your... Well, your basic action options are the right bumper, which does that. The right trigger, which does that. And that's only for your right hand. For your left hand, since I have nothing else equipped, it only does a little punch, even though that's pressing right bumper. If I had a shield equipped, that would have me block. Right trigger has me do a parry. Seems kind of dumb to parry with just your hand, but whatever, I'll let it slide. You've then got your face buttons. Face buttons are A, which is interact with whatever you're nearby. So like that message, click A and it reads it. If I come up to this ladder, press A, I can climb up. B are your movement options. So, like for this, I can press B and slide down. And now I'm climbing back up again. Okay. And then B is also known for your dodge options. So you've got just neutral, not pressing anything on the stick. Press B and it does a side or a back step. If you hold a direction and B, you roll. If you hold B, you run. And then if you press B while running, you jump. You've then got X, which, since we don't have an item equipped, doesn't do anything, but it uses the item in the slot that I'm flashing right now. Y makes it so that you wield a weapon in two hands. Then, as you noticed when I was flashing the buttons down there, bonfire lit. You'll notice that that's actually associated with the D-pad. So, switching items is based on what's in the D-pad. So right will change whatever's in your right hand, left will change whatever's in your left hand, bottom will change whatever item you have slotted, and then up will change any spells you have equipped, if you have any spells. We most likely won't have too many spells. We may have like 1 or 2 if we go for Pyromancy, if we go that route, but we may not end up doing that. Oh yeah, and quick thing about the bonfires, those are kind of our checkpoints. We use those to rest and recharge. They heal you to full, they respawn all the enemies when you rest at them, and when you die you go back to these. Once we get the Estus Flask, which is basically our healing item, it'll actually heal you, it'll actually refill that depending on the kindling of the bonfire, which is based off of humanity, which I'll go over after we get out of the tutorial. Hey look, it's the first boss. So, one thing funny I noticed about this the other day is if you're standing here, you can see the boss perfectly fine. If you walk a little bit forward, and suddenly he's blurry because of depth of field. That's weird. And it also locks the camera, so you can't actually go up any further. But if you step out of the room, oh, camera's unlocked, you can see him fine. It's a little weird, but whatever. Alright, buddy. Let's go. Ow! Ow. Okay. So, the thing about this fight, I'm actually doing pretty bad at it, because... Wow, what the fuck? I'm actually not dodging for some reason. Okay... Huh. Okay, that usually doesn't happen. That's kind of special. Ah... Okay. So that's the other thing. You don't actually set the checkpoint for the bonfire unless you rest at it. I'm so used to Dark Souls 2 where if you just light the bonfire, it sets the checkpoint, but in this, if you don't rest at it, you don't get the checkpoint, so we're all the way back here. Luckily, it's not very far, so it shouldn't take us too long to get back there, and once we get up top of this ladder, we should be right there. But what I was going to say about that boss is you can technically fight him, and what I was going to show if I didn't get completely wrecked, like, immediately, was that, and we're going to actually take some armor off so that we can fast roll. Maybe that'll help a bit. Is that when we're attacking this guy, I'm only going to do about 2 damage per swing with my sword, because it's this broken little piece of shit. And it's not going to do, like, anything to his health. So he's coming down. Alright. So show that. Yeah. Only like 2 damage. Does like nothing. And there's actually a message in this room that he's currently standing on that says run away or get away or something like that. It's a dev message that's basically to tell you that you're not supposed to be able to beat this guy the first time. Now, as I mentioned with the black firebombs in the, a little bit earlier... Whoa. Yeah, so you get away. So, if you're able to beat him, you'll get his hammer, which is the 50 strength hammer. But, it's very difficult to beat him with this stuff because... Okay, I'm just going to run away. I'm not going to get wrecked by this guy now. Yeah, screw that. Okay. So, I'm going to put my armor back on. Yeah. So if you beat him, you get the hammer, but it's very hard to beat him with just this. But if you start out with the black firebombs, they still do normal damage, as they would outside in the normal game after you leave the tutorial, and you can use that to kill him. It usually only takes about 3 black firebombs to kill him. So if you're going for the hammer, then, you know, by all means, that's what you'd start with. And let's see. Get your shield! You missed. Grab my shield. Go ahead and equip that. Whoa. There we go. Yep, so standard shield. It's a standard widely used shield. Shield is easy to use and one of the smallest shields that offers 100% physical damage reduction. Pretty nice. And these... Whoa. There we go. Let's equip that. And... Oh, blocked your arrow. What are you gonna do? Come on. Come on. Yeah, man. Okay, he's gonna run away. And here's our starting weapon. Standard longsword. Longsword is widely used standard straight sword, only matched in ubiquity by the short sword, an accessible sword which inflicts consistent regular damage and high slash damage, making it applicable to a variety of situations. Not a whole lot of flavor text about it, but, you know, it's basically just a sword. But you'll also notice we're going to do a lot more damage with it. So yeah, I'm only doing 2 damage to these guys normally, and I'm doing like 40-something with it, so that's just the normal attack string. I actually really like the longsword, simply because it has a great moveset. And, oh, this is the guy who saved us from ourselves. Should go find him, see what's going on. But we can't get in, because the gate's broken. What will we do? Hey, this wall looks like it could be broken into. Or not. But we're gonna go upstairs. Oh no, giant ball! Oh. Door broke open. Let's go talk to you, buddy.
Oh, you. You're no hollow. Thank goodness.
Nope.
I'm done for, I'm afraid.
Aw.
I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you?
Sure, why not?
Regrettably, I have failed in my mission. But perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen, and thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this.
Okay.
An Estus flask.
Yay!
An undead favorite.
Sweet.
Oh, and this.
And a
Now
key.
I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
Okay. Thanks, man. So that is Oscar of Astora. He is, well, he's a... Whoop. And he's dead. Yep, dead. And I get 100 souls for some reason. I didn't kill him, but 100 souls, it's okay. Open this door just so we can get back to the bonfire. And rest and reset. This is our checkpoint. Okay, so Oscar of Astora was a guy who was supposed to have a whole lot more to do with the story in Dark Souls before, well, during the beta and stuff. So he was supposed to be a lot more important. Now he's kind of just a guy who's here to let us out of our cell. He'll also appear later on when we come back here, and we will be coming back to get some items that are really useful and that I actually really like. Specifically, there's a ring that's really good. And there's also a Titanite slab here, which we use for upgrading, which are very rare. I only think there's like maybe 3 or 4 of them that you can get in the game normally. I don't remember. But, yeah. So, he's dead. We're moving on. But what I wanted to say about the longsword is that it has a really nice moveset. So, this is your right bumper combo. This is your right trigger combo. Oop. You were coming. Now you're dead. And come here. Come on. And... whoa. Okay. Getting all fancy there, buddy. There we go. So this is your right trigger combo. That's your basic moveset, but every item, every weapon has a different moveset based on what actions you're performing at the time. So you've also got your jumping attack, which is forward on the left stick and right trigger. This is your kick. That's standard for everybody. In Dark Souls 2, it's a shield break, and it's also a shield break in Demon Souls as well. But this is the kick. You can use it to kick people off of ledges or break their shield guard or whatever. But then you've also got the movement-based abilities, which are rolling and then right bumper, which turns into that, and I'll just play around with the corpse there. You got sprinting, which does that, and then backstep, which is that. And it also changes the moveset depending on whether or not you're using it one-handed or two-handed. This is two-handed. This is right trigger. Whoa. Okay, not enough stamina. Yep, so turns into that. Your jumping attack still remains the same. Your rolling attack is a poke now. Backstep attack is that. And then your running attack is also going to be that. So each weapon has its own unique moveset like that, and, well, I guess they're not all unique, but they're all good, depending on what they are. And backstab! Owned! So that's a critical strike. Well, they call it a critical strike. Oh yeah, if you're falling, you can press RB and you'll do a plunging attack. Does a lot of damage. Yep, so critical hit, RB behind an enemy. And then you've got the thing that I am fucking terrible at, which is parrying. So, with the shield, this is left bumper, this is left trigger. Left trigger has me parry an attack, and if I get the parry off, it opens the enemy open for it opens them for a riposte, which is basically another critical strike. So it opens them up for a front-facing backstab. And if I get it on this guy, it'll basically kill him. Oh shit, I got on the first try. Oh god, that's amazing. Yeah, that's right. What are you gonna do, buddy? Alright. Despite that amazing success, I'm probably never going to use that again, because during some practice runs, I ended up fucking it up so bad that I died like 2 or 3 times trying to get that parry off on that guy. So, yeah, that's, yeah, you won't see me parrying too often. But now we see these fog gates. Fog gates kind of act as like milestone points and also as boss doors. Like this one is specifically a boss door, and we'll see why. Oh, hey guy, how's it going? Whee! Not backstab. Plunging attack. Yeah, eat it, bitch. Get behind him. Oh, he's gonna fly. Let's see. And clubbing him in his butt. Well, slashing him in his butt. But as you notice, I'm doing like way more damage to him with my normal sword. So this is the actual like fight. And owned. Yeah, so once I have actual weapons and remember what I'm actually doing, this boss is actually really easy. And he gave us the big pilgrim key, which I skipped through, and the humanity. So, this is humanity. It's a rare tiny black sprite found on corpses. Use it to gain 1 humanity and restores a large amount of HP. This black sprite is called humanity, but little is known about its true nature. If the soul is the source of all life, then what distinguishes the humanity we hold within ourselves? So, humanity is kind of... okay, so it's super useful, and it's very strong. It heals you up to full if you use one, and it gives you a humanity that you can use to either kindle bonfires or a bunch of other things. It also affects your stats, like item discovery rate and your curse resistance and a bunch of other things. It's pretty useful, and it only caps out at a max of 10, if I remember right, for a lot of things. And there are some items and some weapons that are based around humanity as well. If you're wondering why I'm going back to something I want to show you that I didn't actually show off in this run. Hey look! It's another Asylum demon. Yeah, buddy. Now, unlike the Asylum demon we just killed, this one's using an axe. He is actually a lot tougher than the one upstairs. He is actually directly below where we fought the first one, and he is the... I suppose you can call him the final boss of this area. He's actually the one with the Titanite slab, so we'd have to kill him to go get that, but we're not going to do it right now, because he's actually pretty tough. We may end up coming back a little bit later to come and fight him and get the stuff that we need. But, as for humanity, if you notice in the upper left hand, I did just explain the bottom left hand for the UI, but if you go to the bottom right, that's your soul count. That's how much experience you got, or souls in general. Upper left hand is going to be your that's going to be your health and your stamina, and also your humanity count. Health, as you notice, is your life. When it reaches 0, you die. Duh. And then you've got your stamina, which is used up by pretty much everything you have. So, like, attacks do it, rolling, backstepping, running uses it, jumping. When you block an attack, it reduces your stamina. And actually, one thing that some people that you'll note is that I'll drain it down a little bit. And so stamina is recovering pretty quick. But if I'm blocking, it recovers really slowly. So you need to drop your shield so you can get your stamina back a little bit faster. So you want to do that in like calm moments where you're not needed to block immediately. And unlike in Dark Souls 2, where you needed a skill called, or a stat called adaptability to increase your frames to allow you to pull your shield up faster, this game's pretty much instant. So like the moment you press it, it comes back up. Over here is another thing. This is Shuggy the Crow. He's a guy who you trade items to. You basically just drop him in his nest and he will give you an item based on the trade, and it's always guaranteed as to what the item's going to be that you get back. The crows appear again in Dark Souls 2, but they're kind of random on what they give you because there's only 3 items that you can drop on there that you'll be able to trade, so they're kind of random based on that. And this is pretty much the end of the Asylum. It's yeah, it's on top of a mountain out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around for miles. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and just walk up here and see what happens, I guess.
Only
Oh, come on.
ancient legends it is stated
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. Oh, Godbird!
to leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordran.
Okay, we are flying in over top of Undead Berg. I'm going to get dropped into one of the more iconic areas in the series. This is the Firelink Shrine. Yep, so Firelink Shrine. In Lordran, level up and kindle at bonfires, and we have one right in front of us. So I'm going to show this off really quickly, what we can do at bonfires now. If we rest at it, we can now level up, kindle, and reverse hollowing. So right now, if you look at... So I'm actually going to go ahead and just take off all my armor and show you this real quick. We look pretty gross. We're undead right now, and you're undead for... well, you're technically undead the entire game, but there's another state called hollowing. We are hollowed right now. If we were to reverse hollowing, we would turn back into a human form, and that actually has some ramifications that go along with it, which I'll go over when I actually go ahead and do that. But you reverse hollowing by sacrificing some of your humanity, which is up in the humanity meter on the upper left, to actually become human again. And you can use it to kindle bonfires. Kindling bonfires, like this one's already been kindled once. What that does is that increases how much Estus you get back by resting at the bonfire. So you rest at the bonfire. If you noticed back in the Asylum, if we rested at that one, we got only 5 Estus charges from that. On this one, and I'm going to use this up just to show it, and it's back up to 10. So this bonfire is a little bit stronger. It looks a little bit brighter. You can kindle it up to a maximum of +3, which will give you 20 charges of Estus. It's very, very useful, but right now we can't do it because you can only kindle it up to 10 without getting a special item after a boss, which we may end up trying to go get early, but I usually do them a lot later because 10 Estus is usually fine for most things. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and continue on a little bit later on. Going to go ahead and, well, move on in the next episode. But I will see you all then. Thank you all for watching.